Always welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real Pe.Ple. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into today's video. So, lovelies, I came across this video that actually sparked the whole of internet reacting to the fact that some of these colonizers are out to do what they know how to do best. But the thing is that at this point, they are actually caught in the act. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
Black people are not the original inhabitants of South Africa, which, in fact, they're realizing that now. When they claimed that they owned all the land, the original inhabitants, of whom there are not many left, said, excuse me, we were the original inhabitants, you guys were migrants here as well, which they were. Okay, the original inhabitants of Southern Africa are called the Khoisan. In the West, take the Bushmen.
Education is elevation, and let's break down and unpackage what he just did. What we see right there is a textbook example of what we call the settlers' move to innocence. It's a term used to describe how settlers avoid decolonization and give them the power, land, and privilege. It is a problematic attempt, an excuse, a distraction to divert talking about responsibility and their complicity within settler colonialism. And before I go into settler colonialism or go deeper into what this dude said, let's really think about this. These folks believe they have the authority to dictate who gets to be what along racial lines, especially when it comes to who gets to be indigenous and who ain't, right? Keep that in mind as I play this next clip, and I'm going to sprinkle more context around when we're talking about settler colonialism.
Which they were. Okay, the original inhabitants of Southern Africa are called the Khoisan. In the West, take the Bushmen are Khoisan. Hottentots are Khoisan. But you can't use those words anymore. You now have to call them Khoisan. Okay? All right, now, they were the inhabitants of the whole of Southern Africa. So the whole of South Africa, at one stage, were Khoisan. The black people originated in what is now Cameroon. That's where they...
Hold on, Khoisan aren't black?
No.
What are they?
They're a completely separate ethnicity all on their own. In fact, if you look at them, they're kind of yellowy. They're a light brown yellow color, right. But they look more Asian than African. They do not consider themselves African.
Interesting.
Yes, interesting. You saying yellow bones, red bones is not black? Come on, man. On my mama, he trying to reconcile his settler guilt. Really trying to reconcile it. But listen though, man, according to Tuck and Yang, settler colonialism is different from other forms of colonialism in that the settlers come with the intention of making a new home on the land. A homemaking that insists of settler sovereignty over all things in a new domain. And to the people in the back, trying to conflate migration with colonization is an incredible misnomer. So what understood is that a migrant is expected to take on the values and the culture of the place they going to. However, a settler, they gonna erase it indigeneity and literally try to justify its colonization, like this dude doing right here in this settler move to innocence.
Ho ho ho! What does it mean to be black?
That's what they...
Hold on, Khoisan aren't black?
No.
What are they?
They're a completely separate ethnicity all on their own.
Look at them. Their skin is brown like mine.
In fact, if you look at them,
they have a 4C air texture like mine, so they can have proper dread. They are from the same Africa as me. In fact, we are neighbors.
They're a light brown yellow color.
Light brown yellow? But by the way, that is basically every African. We come in different shades of brown.
But they look more Asian than African.
They look more Asian? That's a Grinch thing to say, Santa. Khoisan don't look like Asians, but rather Asians look like Khoisan. Ever heard of the original race? Come on, Africa is the cradle of humanity.
In conclusion, what if I told you that the ideologies of United States settler colonialism inform the settler colonialism of Israel, Australia, and South Africa? Education is elevation.
Originated in what is now Cameroon.
I'm interested to know, Mr. Ho Ho Ho. What does it mean to be black?
That's what they...
Hold on, Khoisan aren't black?
No.
What are they?
They're a completely separate ethnicity all on their own.
Look at them. Their skin is brown like mine.
In fact, if you look at them,
They have a 4C air texture like mine, so they can have proper dread. They are from the same Africa as me. In fact, we are neighbors.
they're a light brown yellow color.
Light brown yellow. But by the way, that is basically every African. We come in different shades of brown.
But they look more Asian than African.
They look more Asian? That's a Grinch thing to say, Santa. Khoisan don't look like Asians, but rather Asians look like Khoisan. Ever heard of the original race? Come on, Africa is the cradle of humanity.
They do not consider themselves African.
Interesting.
In fact, I'm done with Santa, but just one last advice. Whenever you think of quitting your job at the mall, shaving your beard, thinking it's the perfect disguise, starting a podcast and saying rubbish, please don't.
The oldest people in existence are the Khoisan, hunter-gatherers of southern Africa. The Khoisan, together with the Pygmies, have the oldest haplogroups in the world, and all the people of the world are descendants of these people. Their language has the click sound. And anthropologists say that the more click sounds a language has, the more ancient it is. They have 5. And they are light-skinned like me. Too bad for all the colorists out there who call everyone who is light-skinned mixed race.
You know, I hate it when colonialism definitions defines our perspective of people or races in general. I absolutely hate it. And I feel like that is why a lot of people think that actually queer people are colored and not black. Because they are black. Okay? They were treated just like black people were. The only reason white people decided to group them up and say that, oh no, they're actually, they're different is because they were literally just lighter skinned. They were just lighter skinned, but they had the exact same features, hair texture, and they had everything that black people had. And they were also oppressed and treated terribly by these colonizers. But because, white supremacy has pushed this idea that the lighter you are, the better and the more beautiful you are. Now all of a sudden, people still reclaim that idea up until this day, just because queer people were more light-skinned than Nguni and Bantu tribes. And that's not okay because they were still black. They were still black.
Before you go to church this week and get the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit or watch somebody get it, I thought you might want to know that it likely originated with the San people, one of the oldest cultures and tribal groups in the world, who originated in Africa over about 40,000 years ago. For context, the oldest tribal group or culture in Europe that was not melanated are the Sami people, and they are said to have originated about 6,000 years ago in Scandinavia and Russia. But back to the story. For the San, the indigenous people of Southern Africa, the activation of energy and contact with the spirit world is achieved through the communal trance dance. After many hours of dancing, singing, and clapping, the most experienced dancers enter a trance. The San would do this dance to enter the spirit world to have contact with the Creator. The San often did this dance for social cohesion, for rain, and to heal. Sound familiar?
Black Africans, especially Black South Africans, I just know y'all are upset right now. I just know y'all are confused and annoyed, perplexed and bewildered. Because how is that man gonna sit up there and try to say that the Khoisan people are not black? He said this British, Australian, whatever he is, podcaster is claiming that the original inhabitants of South Africa, the Khoisan people, are not black, nor are they Africans. Africa's a continent. And Khoisan's an ethnicity, and black is a race. So I'm just curious, how do y'all feel about being told that Khoisan people are not African nor are they black? And how do you feel about a British Australian podcaster telling y'all's history? 'Cause what? I need everybody. If you see a South African person explaining the history, the real history of the Khoisan people and the history of the original inhabitants of South Africa, please share it, duet it, stitch it, something, comment, all of the things. Because I'm so tired of seeing non-melanated people trying to tell the history of melanated people. With that, no. We're not going to let them rewrite our history. No. No.
White guys arrive in Cape Town. So 1652 is when Dutch guys arrived there. At that stage, you could have divided South Africa almost exactly 50-50. What's now South Africa?
Bunch of black South Africans are agreeing to what that man was saying in that video. These imperial powers, their problem is that they don't care. They have no shame. Wherever they go, they are going to murder, rape, kill the entire population of humanity there, destroy everything just for them to achieve their goals. That is what they are for. And this man specially is part of his bloodline. And you have black South Africans agreeing with this man. In fact, who can see this man here and say it? He looks more Asian, like when white people were coming to South Africa, black people were not there, or these people, they do not identify themselves as black, this and that. In Africa, we do not call ourselves black or identify ourselves blacks, that doesn't mean we are not black. Because of what our traditions comes first, or our tribes comes first, here and there. But at the end of the day, we are all black people. If you go to West Africa, you will find some people there, some ethnic groups who have more lighter skin than these Khoisan people in South Africa. And that man was talking a bunch of bullshit in that video, trying to rewrite the history because the imperial powers, that is what they do. And black South Africans are agreeing with him. So today in South Africa, black South Africans are chasing other Africans, and then white folks are chasing them as well. This is the reality in South Africa. The economy is controlled by the white folks, they can rewrite the history. But guess what? I only blame the leadership in South Africa. This is what happens if you have a weak leadership. History lessons in South Africa should be a must for all the students. Because at the end of the day, people are just lost, People are just lost. If you go to this video, you will see that bunch of people are commenting, I really, I agree to this, this and that. Hell,
Maybe 1,000 years.
This is my first time to hear something like this. That black people are not the original inhabitants of South Africa. This is my first time. I don't know about you. But this is what I have to say. We Africans need to rewrite our own history. We Africans need to start teaching our children our own history written by us. Some of us were taught African history written by our colonizers. It is thanks to the media that some of us are realizing the truth, which is totally different from what is written in all their history books that is being taught in some of our schools till today. If we don't rewrite our history, our children will grow up not knowing who they really are. They are now dragging our continent with us. This is how far they are ready to go. They have come up with so many different narratives, but this is the first time I'm getting to hear something like this. But if any of you have ever heard anything like this before, please, I would like to see it in the comment section. Thank you all for watching, and let me know what you think about this video.
I seriously love these people will not rest until when they have achieved their aims. How can you say that the Khoisan people are not black? Like, I don't understand. Is it that they think that people are not more aware of their history? They think that we, as black people, let me just use that word, even if we are not black, like we are brown people. They think that we are still we are just delusional. We are still agreeing with what they decide to teach us, or they decide to tell us that this is what we are. Like, I don't understand. They think that people are not making their own research. They think that people are not done with the history, the history that they conjoined or they made up themselves to impacting us, making us believe that that is actually our history. The thing is that these guys don't know that people that looks like me have actually gone beyond. They have gone so far in terms of research, in terms of knowing their origin and where they actually started. Like seriously, what is this? How can you say that because they are light brown, blue, no, they are light yellow, black, brown? Like that is just the characteristics of being a black person. Someone being black does not necessarily mean that your skin color has to be pure black. I have relations. I have relations. I have so many of them that is so, light in complexion. We don't even call them white. Like they are light brown, like very light. You sometimes you think that they are actually pan colored, but they are actually black people. How is it that these people think that like we are still in the olden days that they will just make up something and want us to believe it? Like the other people say, like this, some of the stitches I put up here. When you're too used to going to a particular place, unaliving the original people that is there, breaking some of the original people just for you to plant your seed in them, then erasing their own heritage. You think that it will still work for you just the way it has been working, a long time ago. It's not going to work that way anymore. It's not. There is this particular video. I think I stitched it here. This, pan-colored man. What he's good at is, I think I saw that stage during a documentary on Netflix. So this pan-colored man, you know, with his friends, what is do is to go to African countries and impregnate, or no, not impregnating. They went to African countries and actually donated their, DNAs in order to, give room for people looking for the fruit of the womb, and ended up having multiple numbers of children, which he's so proud to do. And when I heard like that he wants to go and recolonize Africa just the way at which his forefathers has. So this has actually been their plans long time ago. They know that the real original people that ever existed in the planet Earth was actually people that looks like me. Brown or black people, the way you want to call it. But they don't want that fact. They just want to erase that. Like, they want to erase that history. That is why they try as much as they can, go to a particular place, colonize that place, do whatever they want to do with the women, deposit all of their DNAs so as to erase the particular history. And now this young man is here talking about how Christian is not black. They look Asian. He should say that Asian looks like Christian futures, because these are the original, the oldest people that have ever existed. The oldest people. All humanity, just like the way they said here, which I need to make more of my research, it said that they come from them. So what is it saying? Why is it that even if they know that people that looks like me have been trying their best, to stay on the line of knowing their history, knowing the way at which they came to be? No, they don't want that fact. They don't want it. They just want us to just still be. They want us still blind. They want us blindfolded or blindfolded. They just don't want us to know anything about us. Even if we are trying to get to know our historical background, they are as well trying to put a sort of dispute between all of us to make us confused. Their fear is black people coming together. That is their fear. They will do everything possible, to keep people that looks like me divided, because they know that division will give them empowerment, but united we destroy. This is just it. It's as simple as that. Right about now, sub-Saharan African people are having disputes and conflicts with other African countries. And this is what they want. This is what they want. They will make sure they go there, brainwash them, make them understand that, oh, you are not black, you are not African, you are Khoisan, you are yellow, red, and mixed. They just want to brainwash them to keep us all divided. And now it's as if it's working for some of these South African people. Some of them believe that, oh yeah, I think, they are telling the truth. Like, seriously, this has actually been the agenda. Sometimes, I actually ask myself and try to make my own research, because I know that they have South Africans. And I was like, what are they still even doing there? And you see them coming out to call themselves Africans. Like, they want to be so African. But those are the descendants of the colonized masters that found their way to Africa. After colonizing them, they settled there, begin to give birth, and begin to make up their families that turned just the same way they go on people's land to colonize it and take over it. But the problem they have with South Africans is that there are still black South Africans over there. So they cannot colonize the entire South Africans. And now, they are making the South Africans to believe that, oh, they are not Africans. Like, no, they are not black, but they are Africans. What are they trying to confuse? What are they trying to confuse? How would you be, African people not using the phrase black, white, or, to differentiate is the fact that they have different cultures and traditions. But in all ramifications, they are all black people, but with different cultural backgrounds, traditions, and all. That is it. These South African pan-colored people should just stop with the colonization. And I agree with the sister that said that this is the time for us to start telling or teaching our children our own history, not the history that we are meant to believe. Like, seriously, lovely. So when I saw this video, I was like, oh, this is the reason why some of these South African people are, oh my god. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Like I said, guys, we are just here for educational and informative purposes. So please, leave me your own thoughts. Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. And I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, so please share, subscribe, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.